Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the part 3 of my 30 series. I'm super excited that we are making progress. There is just so much that I have to share with all of you, and seeing all of your feedbacks in the comment section of all the videos I have put out so far. Guys, it is so encouraging. It is so encouraging. I want to thank all of you for engaging thus far with this journey with me. I am super excited, and as I mentioned on my previous video, it makes me realize that I am not alone. It makes me realize that there's nothing wrong with me, that I am not an island on this path, in this journey. I'm not the only human embarking on this particular journey, that there are so many of us out there that are dealing with these issues that I have been speaking about. All right, so I want to appreciate all of you. Thank you all so much for your time, for watching my videos, and for engaging with the conversations therein. All right, now on this video, I'm gonna give you some reasons why you should be child-free in your 30s. Yes, I know it might be a bit controversial, but before I dive right into it, let me put out some disclaimers. All right, number one, I am not against childbearing. Number two, I am not against motherhood. I have sisters that have kids, a lot of kids. Yes, I have a mother that birthed me, so I respect all mothers. I respect the process of childbearing. It is not easy. I've seen videos, yes, so I respect every single female that is able to go through such a process. It is a lot to handle. Yeah, so as you watch this video, I do not want you to feel like I am discouraging you from probably chasing your dreams and maybe aspirations of having a family of your own, having kids of your own, raising kids of your own, or even getting pregnant. I am not in any way here to tell you no, don't do it. No, I'm not here to tell you, but these are some reasons I'm going to be giving you to consider, all right, to consider before you take such a bold step. In case you're in the process of considering doing it, you know, getting pregnant, having a child of your own, just in case you're in the process, make sure you watch this video to the end, all right, so that you can learn a thing or two. All right, now once again, I want to remind all of you that I will be speaking based on my personal experience. Remember, this is my 30 series where I continue sharing my experiences, you know, from my formative years as a child, you know, leading up to now that I am 35. Okay, so yeah, all of that said, you're welcome once again to my channel. This is Simply Glory Elijah. My name is Glory Elijah. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yes, let's get right into it. As a single female in her 30s, if there's one thing I just get randomly reminded of, it's my biological clock. And what makes it really weird is that these reminders don't come from my mother. It doesn't come from my siblings. It doesn't come from my family, like my direct, immediate family. No, but instead, it comes from external people. And sometimes I find it really funny how these people are so concerned about my ovaries. They are so concerned about my eggs getting spoiled or damaged or expired or getting scared that as I age gracefully, yeah, because I believe I am aging gracefully, that as I age gracefully, I might no longer be able to carry a pregnancy, that I am getting too old to be single and childless. That's how they put it, yeah? Now, something happened in the month of March, yeah? I had gone to the airport and, just to drop off someone. So on my way back, I had boarded a cab. And typical of me, I enjoy having conversations with the cab drivers, especially if it's a night ride. It takes away the nervousness of me being suspicious and being overly alert of what's going to happen for me. So I tend to engage the cab drivers in conversations. And this particular cab driver is an elderly man, looks young, but is elderly. So he was asking me about the person I went to drop off at the airport, the person I went to bid farewell to. Now, not coincidentally, as I arranged, this person had taken us to the airport, and I had told him to come back to take me back to where he had picked me, so it was an arrangement that we made. So he was asking about my relationship with the person. So I did not want to give away too much information about myself. So I had just told him just a few things. He had asked for how long we had known each other. I had decided to shorten the number of years to 2 years, because actually I had known this person for more than 2 years, right? So this person was actually my ex. So he was asking if we're married. I said, no, we're not married. And he was like, oh, why? Why? Can't you see that you're no longer a young girl? How old are you? And I told him my age. He said, I even thought you were younger. I even thought you were 25. I said, well, glory be to God, I am not 25. And he started schooling me about how he had married his wife when she was it 18 or 20? How they have 3 beautiful kids, and all the kids, they've graduated from university now, that the youngest just graduated as as a medical doctor, yeah, and the wife is working in a bank, and he is doing cab driving as a cab driver. He's working as a cab driver because it gives him flexibility in time, and everything he was saying sounded really good, right? And I loved the way he explained to me how he had planned his family. They have a house in the village and he is building another house in the city, and the man was just going on and on and on. And then he now went on to the conversation of biological clocks, reminding me about how I'm not getting any younger, how I need to ensure that I get pregnant very soon. In fact, this year, I need to get pregnant. I need to have a child. And he went on and on and on. And I listened to everything this man said, right? And I wasn't offended, because as far as I was concerned, this is just someone that found me interesting and enjoyed having conversations with me, saw me as a nice young woman, told me that he thinks I'm very nice, and he was just trying to advise me, and I really appreciated it, But I just shook my head and I'm like, man, you have no clue about my situation. You have no clue. But I thanked him for the advice. And mind you, he's not the first external person that has given me this lecture about my biological clock. Now, another conversation happened, and this time around, it happened with one of my aunts. That's I don't know if I should call her my cousin or what, but she's my mother's sister's daughter, right? She's like the second eldest daughter. She's very successful as a woman. She's a full-blown career woman, very successful, was married before, marriage did not work out, she divorced, and then she went ahead to adopt a child, and she's doing great. When I say she's doing great, she's living in her own mansion. And she's about to buy another mansion. This one is doing great, and people know her. I mean, when I was doing one of those professional courses I took some years back, one of my colleagues was just randomly telling a story about how a top CEO or manager in the telco industry had rescued him in something that happened, and he mentioned her name, and I'm like, that's my aunt. And he was like, what? Oh my God, this woman is... So she's good like that. Like, people know her, people like her. So she came to my apartment some months ago. We're not that close like that, but once in a while she'll call, she'll check. So she came to my apartment and She asked me what my plans were, moving forward in life. And I'm like, I don't understand. She said, oh, in terms of having kids. I said, well, I don't know. And she started advising me about having kids, she was more particular about me getting pregnant. She was heavy on, get pregnant, you're not getting any younger, get pregnant, have a child, you need to have a child. I mean, look at the apartment you live in. You can raise your child from here. You can take care of your child, she was heavy on have a child. And then she went on about how if she knew, she could have started having kids early. Now, I listened to her and I said something to her. I said, Auntie, as much as I would like to have a child, I would like to have a child that I can take care of, with or without a spouse. Even if I eventually get married and I have a child, I do not want to be solely reliant on my husband to be the one taking care of the child alone. I would want something that even if I have a child and there is no man in the picture, I should be able to take care of that child to the fullest extent of generosity that I can provide. I would not want to have a child that I cannot confidently and conveniently take care of. And I said that to her because she in particular that was advising me, before we broached that topic of my biological clock, she had just finished narrating to me the story of her life. Although she summarized it, but she had just finished narrating to me the story of her life, of how her dad had passed. And so she had to carry the burden of taking care of all of her siblings. And she's still doing so till today. She sent all of her siblings to school, fended for all of them, and currently, almost all of them, if not all of them, they are in the US and they are doing great. She is the matriarch, if I got that right. She's the matriarch of the family. Her mother is still alive. She's still taking care. She is carrying the family, male, female, on her head, on her shoulder. And she explained to me about how it was such a lot of work. I don't want to call it a burden, but it was a lot of work for her to do. And so she had been working for the longest time to take care of everybody around her. And so while she was taking care of everybody, she was going, she was growing older in her age. She was advancing in her age. She had a successful career. She was excelling. She was doing great. But while she was focusing on building that career, elevating herself, elevating her family, conversations of marriage did not immediately pop up. And so when it did pop up and it did not work out, she had to continue again building her family and herself. And so, as much as I appreciated the advice that she was giving to me on that very day, I just could not help but listen more to the details of the story of her life that she had shared with me. The details of her resilience, the details of her working really hard, the details of her making the mistake of picking the wrong partner for marriage, a marriage that turned really bad. And thankfully, she was able to remove herself from that situation, finding the strength and the will to move on with her life, build herself to the highest level of her career, and is still doing great till now. And then going ahead to adopt a child who I have met and really like. And, because the child is really smart and she is really giving the child the best of the best that life has to offer. A child that she's really taking care of and really showering. I don't want to use the word spoiling, but showering with a lot of luxuries that she did not really enjoy as a child at her own time. I was holding on to those details more than worrying about my ovaries, than worrying about my biological clock. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have been through a lot. Yes, I have been through a lot. I have been through a lot. If you follow me on Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, especially on Saturdays during our YouTube live conversation where we gather on my YouTube channel by 3 p.m. WAT every Saturday, you know, from time to time we have some very, very interesting conversations about life. If we're not reviewing a reality TV show, you know, during that season, we are having very, very serious conversations about life, you know, the hard decisions of life, societal issues, and so on and so forth. And on one of such gatherings, I've actually shared about my childhood, growing up in the slums, growing up in a household where we were many as kids, but things were really hard. No matter how my parents tried, things were really hard. My university days was hell. I was trying so hard to study, but I was studying on an empty stomach. I was hungry. You know, a lot of things were happening. I don't want to waste your time giving you all of those details, but let me use the raw word. I really suffered. I hustled a lot in the most legit way, of course, but those hustles were the hardest types of hustle. And I'm talking about the rawest of the rawest forms of hustles. And where I am today is as a result of course, God's grace and mercy, but also as a result of extreme hard work. And when I talk about hard work, I'm talking about a lot of sleepless nights working, 2 hours of sleep per day, a lot. And as it stands, I am doing it all alone for myself. I am the one paying all of my bills, every single one of my bills. I am the one taking care of myself. I pay all my bills, down to making my hair. I take care of myself, down to the clothes on my body. See, everything you see, I am the one paying for it. So I am working really hard and I am paying for it. I'm paying for my rent. And for those of you that actually are based in Nigeria, you know what the economy is talking about. We're not playing. You know what the economy is talking about. Things are not cheap, especially if you want to live a considerably comfortable life. Things are not cheap. Things are expensive. Now, not to talk of if you even decide that, okay, you want to get yourself some little luxuries, like maybe owning a car. You think it's cheap to own a car? Some people think owning a car is just about buying a car. You've not even started thinking about the maintenance. You've not started thinking about fueling the car. And fueling Nigeria today is quite expensive. Very expensive. And all of these things I am doing for myself, by myself, without any backup whatsoever. No single backup. Like when I say backup, nobody is funding me. Nobody is saying every month take, every week take, upkeep. I do not have that luck or luxury. I don't. So one thing I've always asked myself personally, in my own personal time, where I have my own moments of introspection, where I have conversations with myself, one question I've always asked myself is, Glory, can you afford to have a child now? Can you afford to even adopt a child now? Can you afford to maintain a child now, even though you're 35? Can you? As a single woman who is working really hard to be successful, Gloria Elijah, can you afford a child now? And the answer has always been a big no. And that is me being honest with myself. Now, there are a lot of reasons also that I know that I can't go through that pain and stress of having a child now, But you see, when it comes to conversations around finances, conversations about resources, a lot of people actually think having a child is, get pregnant, carry the child for 9 months. People don't even think about what goes on during those 9 months. The complications, the non-complications, the care, the maintenance of the pregnant mother or a pregnant woman rather. And then the fear of childbirth. I have that fear, I'm not going to lie. The fear of childbirth, and after, by the grace of God, delivering the baby, which is now the beginning of taking care of another human being by yourself, especially if you do not have support from anywhere or from anybody. So every time I ask myself that question, the answer always returns back to, I am not ready. Why? Because at this point in time, I can only afford to take care of myself. I can only afford to pay my bills and support my mom, support my siblings if they want my support. I can only afford the now. But talking about raising another human being, I'm not ready. I do not have the capacity yet. I do not have the finances. I do not have the resources yet. And I'm not going to kill myself over it, all because my biological clock is ticking according to society. I would say, aside that question, another question I ask myself is, Glory Elijah, say out of panic, out of fear, and out of, just maybe out of desperation, you decide to just go out there, get on a one-night stand, because of course I'm single now, look for a boyfriend and just go ahead, smash a guy, no protection used, you get pregnant, and by the grace of God, you deliver the child, right? And with the little income that you have, that you're using to manage yourself and your mother and your family, you use it to start taking care of the child, and you need more. Will those people who have been reminding you, in fact, let's call them your womb watchers, right? Will those people volunteer to take responsibility of helping you raise that child? Will they abandon their own problems, their own responsibilities, their own obligations? Will they abandon it and then say, okay, I'm the one that advised you, I'm the one that pushed you, I'm the one that really, really encouraged you to go and get pregnant to have a child. I want to prove to you that I am there for you. Are they going to come out and say, okay, you know what? School fees for your baby for the next 5-10 years, I'm going to take care of it. Baby food, everything you need to take care of your child, moving to a better environment, right, with proper security. Like, I'm talking about the kind of standard that I want for myself, that I love for myself, right, and I want it for my child. Are they going to take up all of that responsibilities and say, okay, we're going to take it up? Don't worry, you have done the big work. You have carried the pregnancy successfully. You have delivered successfully. Don't worry, we're going to do the big work. And then they decide that, fine, I am going to take charge from here. Are they going to do all of that for you? If we're being honest with ourselves, the answer to that question is no, they won't. Except you come from a well-to-do family, a very, very wealthy family, and not just a family that is wealthy, but also a family that looks out for their own, in terms of they're the ones that will push you to take a decision, they're the ones that will push you to do something, and they will stand by you, or they will carry the consequences of that decision for you. Except you come from such a family. But if you don't come from such a family, if you do not have a family that you can say, okay, for the next 5 years, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to chill and be a stay-at-home daughter. from that kind of family where everybody's going to take care of you, even though you decide that, okay, for the rest of your life, you're not going to work. Why should I be swayed? Why should you be swayed by what people think or believe is best for you? Why? Another thing I find very, very ridiculous is when I see videos on social media where women, fellow women, go on there and they give advice to other women that, oh, the moment you clock 30 and you are still single, no man has come to marry you, just look for a way to get pregnant. Look for a way to get pregnant so that you will have a child, oh, because your eggs will expire, oh, your biological clock is ticking, oh. Like, there was this particular video I saw, and I looked at the woman that was talking in that video, and I'm sorry to say, she looked unkept. Yeah. She looked unkept. She looked scruffy. She looked rough. She looked like she was suffering. She looked like one of those women that are struggling to even feed in a day. And I looked at the person that was actually giving the advice, and I was just laughing. I just could not take that video serious, but I was just laughing because I'm like, coming from you. I mean, look at the person that's actually giving the advice. And I've also seen, videos from other people, other women too, on social media. These ones are very, very rich, right? And you know that they are rich because of how they flaunt their wealth on social media. And they say, as a woman, make sure you go and get pregnant. Once you get that, make sure you go and get pregnant. I see such videos and I also laugh because I'm thinking, well, you are probably able to afford to take care of as many children as you want, with or without the presence of a male partner. But what if the other women that are listening to your video right now, what if they cannot afford it? Should they go and commit suicide? Should they go and kill themselves? Should they feel like they are the rejects of the earth because, they are 30 or above 30 and they do not have a child of their own? And another major angle in this conversation is how these people in society always look down on single mothers. Always look down on single mothers, always say the trashiest things about single mothers, but they are still the ones encouraging women like me to become single mothers, all because they don't want their biological clock to tick away to extinction. All because, we are trying to protect your eggs, we are trying to protect your ovaries. I mean, it's the freaking double standards from me, and it's annoying. Sometimes I find it funny, like ridiculously funny. Other times it's just very annoying. I find it very annoying because also, when you go to the comment section of certain blogs, right, and you see single mothers, some women begging for alms, they are begging like, I have a child, I'm a single mother, I don't have a husband, or I have a husband, my husband is not giving me money, please help me with 5,000 naira, help me with 10,000 naira. You will see the way people are insulting those women, saying things like, you know that you cannot afford to take care of a child. Why did you not close your legs? Who sent you to go and get pregnant? They say the meanest things to those women, disregarding the fact that it could have been something else that put them in that situation. So this same society is very quick to condemning, crucifying us women that are in our 30s or even above 30. When it comes to also playing that typical role that they say, it takes a village to raise a child. Okay, when it comes to now playing the role as a responsible villager, come and contribute your quota into raising this child, you see them asking you, who sent you to get pregnant if you cannot take care of a child? Who sent you to have a child if you knew that you could not even take care of yourself, not to talk of taking care of a child? Those are the questions that they would ask you. And so you see how the double standard stinks. You see how it stinks. And it pisses me off every time. So, I'm going to round up this video by stating clearly to you again. If you're broke, if you're still dependent on your family and your friends for help, for support, to survive, to get by in life, if you are not happy with yourself, if you're not entirely healthy, if you do not have a support system, if you do not have emergency contacts, people that if you just, maybe something happens and you just snap your fingers and they show up for you immediately. If you are not mentally and emotionally stable, if you are struggling with self-love and valuing yourself as a woman, please, you have no business having a child, even if you are 30 or above. You have no business allowing yourself to be confused by the noise from society to have a child. Being child-free is not a curse. Being child-free is a conscious decision, a conscious way of checkmating yourself, putting things in order in your life and around your life to ensure that if at all you then finally decide to have a child of your own, that you have done the groundwork. You have created a safe space, a safe environment to have a child and to raise a child. Yeah, just so that you have secured the future of your child. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this video on this note. Love yourself first. All right, love yourself first, because at the end of the day, if you get swayed by societal opinion, they will not be there to save you. You will be the only one left to save yourself. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to stop talking here right now, all right? But of course, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about being child-free in your 30s? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will see you guys on the next episode of my 30s series. Have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.